All right, we're talking 2024 with Rory Jennings. Good to see you, mate.
Thank you for having me on.
Happy New Year. Coming. Obviously, we're filming it in December. I wanted to run through 2024 football predictions. Okay.
I don't want to. Is it worth you putting something up? You can do editing and graphics.
Yeah, I can edit a few things.
Can you put the word spoiler?
Spoilers.
Because you know that my predictions are so accurate that they're not predictions, they're spoilers.
They're guaranteed, man.
They're guarantees, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'm thinking now. And I think that there are some clear and obvious ones. So,
Yeah.
for example, I know who's going to win the Premier League.
Who's going to win the Premier League? That was the first one.
Do you want to start with that already? We're going in the deep end.
Big one.
I'm trying to think of a reason why it won't be them, but I'm convinced, sadly, that I'm going to stick with my original prediction, my prediction from August, which is painfully Arsenal Football Club are going to be champions come May.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about it. I see some performances in the likes of Declan Rice.
You've got to just acknowledge what you just said there.
Yeah.
Coming from all people.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that you, the man who will dismiss Arsenal like that, the man who will never recognise any legitimacy in a challenge put forward by Arsenal, the fact that you haven't just ended it and are prepared to explore the possibility of them winning the league as the biggest indicator that they will win it.
I look at, you can, sometimes in football, it mirrors itself. It goes in cycles, right? So Man United had Brian Robson. Then they have Roy Keane. Then they have what they thought is Paul Pogba. These big players come in and they kind of replicate the cycles of history in football. And what I'm alluding to, Vieira, Petit, big Arsenal midfielders. Who have Arsenal got now? Declan Rice. He looks like the Premier League winning midfielder that Arsenal needed when they lost Vieira to the Italian league.
I agree. I think he is that as well. I think when you think about the player that Rice is, the amount of money that he went for, he now actually, with hindsight, feels like a bit of a bargain. Like, I think we all knew that he was a good player. I think we knew that he would elevate the Arsenal midfield. We knew that he was capable of extremely good performances. But perhaps I'm wrong here, but I don't think people thought that he was this good. I don't think even like somebody who is, an ardent and zealous West Ham fan who followed him all over Europe last year and knew about Declan Rice and was telling us how good he was. I don't think they thought he was this. No. Like I knew he was a good midfielder. I knew that he would set the tempo for the way that Arsenal played. But I didn't expect last minute winners. I didn't think he was that.
The finish against you lot.
Yeah,
mate, it was
set the tone there. Yeah. Set the tone.
That wasn't
and
just him smashing, hitting a hope. Some midfielders, defense. Maybe Gilberto Silva, would hit and hope every now and again.
Yeah.
Fernandinho used to do that. But Declan Rice took it to like a Yaya Toure level, a Frank Lampard level of kind of. That was a finish and a half, man.
When his team most needed it. Luton Town, when his team most needed it. Manchester United at the Emirates. When you think about everything that just preceded that, you remember the Garnacho 20 seconds ago, they were losing the game, now they're winning it. Why? Because Declan Rice demanded it. And I think if you're pinpointing why Arsenal win the league, I think Rice is the answer.
Yep.
But I also just think, it's you lot as well. I think it's them. Well, it's you lot that have opened the door to, it shouldn't really be possible. And if you had acted properly in the transfer market and not signed Kovacic, I told you, not signed Nunes and had just signed Declan Rice, as it looked like you would, you'd have won the league.
Yeah, there's a weird part of me. I'm glad we haven't monopolised football and we've allowed Arsenal. They're a big club. He wanted to stay in London. I know it doesn't work like that. It's not ruthless, but
not them.
I know. But that's your Chelsea sentiment. As a football fan, seeing him play for Arsenal, there is something. It's nice to see a big club have a big player and compete with Man City in the transfer market. That's what I would say.
Can Villa save me this?
No. That's what I was going to go on to. We all agree Arsenal are going to be at least top 4. If it's first or not, we can debate that. Man City, of course, top 4. I think that's fair enough. Liverpool, I think that's fair enough as well. Do Aston Villa make that 4th spot? Who gets top 4 in 2024?
Mate, I'm not prepared to recognise the legitimacy of this conversation, if you don't mind. I'm not exploring, are Aston Villa capable of getting top 4? Yeah, top 4 in the bag for Villa.
Yeah.
Are they going to win the league is the conversation. Top 4, if you want my top 4 predictions in no order.
It's finished.
I believe that the obvious 4, the current 4, are the 4.
Tottenham, no United,
no Tottenham.
Spurs.
No United, no Tottenham. Villa, I believe, probably don't go... Sadly, I want them to win the league, but I don't think they can do it. But they certainly won't drop off to the level. Do you know what? When you explore Villa, I know you and I are unanimous when it comes to the brilliance of Unai Emery. But I would also say just think about the team that they are. Think about the way that they approach. Again, think about the 7 days that they had very recently. In a 7-day stretch, they went away to Tottenham, won. Midweek, they played Man City, won. That weekend, off the back of beating City and Tottenham, that weekend, they won again.
Ridiculous.
Playing Arsenal.
Ridiculous.
In 7 days, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal. That is the whole end rocking like it's 1982 again. That is proper. Like, that is it. And I'm afraid that any team capable of that sequence of results... Yeah, Booth, do you agree, by the way?
No, and I agree with how you view Villa. I think they're very strong. Could they slip to 5th because of Thursday night football and he takes that semi-final seriously? Yes, I think that's what we underestimate.
Okay, so who? Who gets it?
Man United could be in there. I know they're rubbish. You know me. You know what I think about them. But they grind out results against the bottom half of the table pretty well. They did last season. They grind out wins in the League Cup to get to the final, win it.
But they're so
FA
beatable.
Cup.
They're so
beatable. They are. But Aston Villa don't have the same squad as Man United. And all Man United need, a couple of players, even Mason Mount, to have a back end of the season where he's maybe pushing for an England spot and he ups his form a little bit. Stranger things have happened, but I do agree with you.
If United are the only challenger, like you know if it's Villa or United, if it's definitely one of those two clubs, convinced it's Villa. You know, if it becomes maybe a 3-horse race,
Spurs.
or someone else somehow goes on a run,
Should be you.
No, it won't be us.
Should be.
But pretend it. Okay, let's just say it won't be us, but let's just pretend it is. If it becomes Chelsea or Villa or Tottenham, and it's all very similar, then I think it's more likely to be Chelsea.
Yeah.
But it won't be.
No.
If it's simply Manchester United or Villa do it.
Okay, yeah, I like that reasoning. European champions, I'd say there's 3, a bit similar to the Premier League. There's Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. There's a 3-horse race. 3-horse race for the Champions League? Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Man City?
Agreed.
Yeah, who do you think wins it?
Bayern Munich. I think it's written.
Based on
Harry Kane.
The
based
narrative.
on Harry, based on the narrative. I can tell you more than that.
Yeah.
I can not only tell you the Champions League winner, I can tell you what happens in a semi-final. I just think it's written. Semi-final, Bayern Munich are drawn against Arsenal.
Oh, they get that far.
Harry Kane does this at the Emirates.
Yeah, I'd
home and
love
away.
that.
Harry Kane scores home and away against Arsenal.
And you think City gets to another final, or is it? Do you think it's like a Real Madrid, revenge thing? Maybe.
I don't know. I think. Do you know what? There was a time where I just felt like City were obviously going to get to Wembley and possibly retain it, but now they just look like such a vulnerability in this City team that I'm not sure. Like, I think the draw has been so kind for City.
Yeah.
That you're going to get through, and by the time a more intense game comes your way, the last 8, you will probably have found a bit of rhythm, and Kevin De Bruyne with his new curtains will be scoring goals and creating goals. But if you were a bit more unlucky in the draw, say for example that, like, I don't even mean majorly unlucky. I don't mean Real Madrid, but say you'd been just slightly unlucky, Napoli,
yeah.
I think they'd have done you.
Do you think?
I think you're very beatable at the moment.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm finding it annoying, because I like City. City have insulated me from a lot of grief over the past decade or so. A lot of the time when Chelsea haven't won the league, City have won it, and I can live with that.
Yeah.
I wanted City to win the league, but I just don't think they're going to do it. And that's part
We'll
of
be
the
strong
problem we
second
have.
half of the season.
I think you will be.
We'll pick up something this season. The side's too good.
But I don't feel like I did before with City with regard to Europe. Like, before I was like City in a semi-final, almost definitely in a final. I don't feel like that.
Okay, that's very interesting.
But Bayern to win it.
Bayern to win it.
And yours, don't you try and get off of this?
No.
Do you think City retain?
I think Bayern will get to a final. If it is City Bayern, then they can beat us in the final in a one-off game. They could have beaten us last season. They were through on goal a couple of times. Sane missed a big opportunity. Yeah. I think the gap between Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Man City is very, very small. And you never know. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich might meet each other and beat each other.
That's what you need.
And one of the shit sides, Lazio, something like Lazio get to the semis.
That would do the competition like the world of good, wouldn't it? If it's just something weird happens.
Yeah.
Lazio somehow progress.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just something out of the ordinary happens.
Yeah.
Do you know who, just to explore it, where do Arsenal go? Arsenal have got a good draw. They'll be happy with Porto.
Yeah, of course.
Where do you believe Arsenal fall out of the competition? I've said semi.
You said, I think you're spot on.
Semi.
Their group went underrated. how they managed that group. I know they went to
They did
France,
it
they
easy,
struggled,
didn't
but apart
Did it
from that,
easy.
it was perfect. It's like the narrative was written for Arsenal to get back in the Champions League and crumble instantly.
There is one more narrative, which isn't going to happen because they've been very kind in the draw. But the other narrative for Arsenal is get to the last 16 and get battered by Bayern, and they've avoided that.
I think that could happen maybe in the semis.
Yeah, so do I actually.
Let's wrap up a wild card prediction. I don't know if anything comes to mind. I'll give you an example. A wild card prediction for 2024 is that Luton Town will stay up in the Premier League. I think they've shown enough quality, enough fight, and the likes of Forest sacking their manager. There might be a bit of movement with clubs struggling. And when one of those big clubs struggles and they can't quite manoeuvre in time, I think you could put money on the likes of Rob Edwards with the side that he knows inside out, the likes of Townsend and Barkley playing very, very well. I think they'll stay in the league and it'll be a beautiful story for Tom Lockyer and all sorts. So do you have anything like a wild card shout that will happen next calendar year? What about the Euros even?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Do you know what I was thinking then? You can help me explore. I love your suggestion about Luton, by the way, and I hope you prove correct. Do you know what Germany haven't been playing well. But part of me thinks that even though Germany aren't playing well and people think that they're very beatable, it's Germany at home in a championship. Do they win it?
They win the whole thing.
Do they win it? I know. They're
more likely to win it than we are.
I know, and we've got so much better. We're so much better.
I know, in every position.
I'm trying to think of a
Neuer's back in goal.
Of a left field suggestion. I liked your one. Euros, but you see, I also think England are going to win it, and I know that I'm blind and tribal, but I also think, like, almost in spite of the manager, not because of the manager, in spite of the manager, I think this England team is so good that we win it. Okay, I'll give you a bold prediction for next calendar year. Let's both do it. I'll put a question forward.
Yeah.
And we can get some help in the comments maybe. Who is the first manager sacked of 2024?
Oh.
And is it Erik ten Hag?
No, I think he'll steady the ship. I think they've got enough about them to just get results where they're in the conversation for top four. They still are mathematically, as we're doing this video. They get top four, he stays another year, and there's a little bit of loving around the idea that he's in his third year and Sancho gets the move that he needs to progress his career, and he gets a new player in, and there's a bit more of an enthusiasm in the summer. So I think he'll last.
So not that.
I don't think they can be that bad, but we might be wrong. The first manager, I mean, Forest have made the move.
There haven't been many managerial sackings this year.
No, I kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
It's nice to see managers see their tenure out a little bit.
Who is that? Does Ten Hag last a season?
Ten Hag lasts a season. Yeah, I think Burnley might get in a situation. Look, Sheffield United have already sat their manager, brought in Wilder. Gary O'Neill's Wolves struggling in the last couple of weeks. Is there a world they sack him?
I've got my prediction. I've got my wild card. Not the question that I put forward. I've got my wild card.
Yeah, what is it?
In 2024, Gary O'Neill will be announced as England manager. Seriously, after the Euros, in the year of 2024. Well, realistically, who can it be? Graham Potter, Eddie Howe.
I think Potter. The fact that Potter hasn't taken a job in so long now, he's waiting for a big boy.
Going to Man United.
Do you think he'll go Man United?
I think it works that he goes to United as well.
Right. So he goes to Man United.
Gary O'Neill.
Like
Gary O'Neill, England manager 2024. Bold prediction.
Beautiful.
I quite want it to happen. I love him. I'm like you. You and I share this weird love of Gary O'Neill.
I like the guy. 100%.
like the guy.
Yeah,
Me
it's
too.
Gary O'Neill's year, 2024. Check out Roy Jennings, obviously on YouTube and the club. Thanks so much, mate. I appreciate your time.
Mate, thanks for having me
We'll
on.
see you very soon. And Happy New Year.